But actually, that's a great segue going into 1st and 10. The NCAA. They're dropping the ball. Now, let's just call it as is. They're dropping the ball. Again, the NCAA is showing that they do not care about the student athletes. They continue to sit on their hands and wait for something to happen before they announce anything. So according to Zach Borg of the Dakota News Now, he states that after further review, the NCAA has decided it needs further review before making a decision about whether or not to play their fall championships. The Board of Governors have decided to wait and continue discussions in August. So what discussions are they waiting for? Like the plans need to be made now, and then from those plans they're able to make a decision next month. Not let's just discontinue the discussion next month. It's idiotic. So NCAA President Mark Emmert said that in the statement today, that it is clear that the format of our championship will have to change if they are to be conducted in a safe and fair manner. You think? I mean, dude, it's right now. It's kind of upsetting because you have the professional sports leagues that are trying to be proactive at least as much as they can. They try to plan it out, have policies and procedures in place. Again, meanwhile, the NCAA is sitting on their hands. They haven't made any public statements. It's really been the conferences and the schools that have been making statements as far as what they will be doing for the upcoming season, especially for fall sports. The NCAA hasn't said anything yet. The NCAA is waiting. They're waiting for something positive to happen so it could give them an excuse to run the season no matter what. They're worried about their pockets. They don't care about the safety of the players. They don't care about the people that they're going to put at risk. They're worried about the bottom line. They don't want to lose fall sports because that's the moneymaker. And this is exactly what's going on. Like we see this and it's not obviously COVID-19. This is the year of COVID-19. So, they haven't made these decisions previously, but, every year you see NCAA making questionable decisions and not making the decisions based on the best interest of the players, the student athletes. So, man, this is upsetting. But also Mark Emmert, so he had another thing he said today. So according to Heather Dinich from ESPN, as part of the college football season continues to inch closer, NCAA President Mark Emmert said Tuesday he remains very concerned about the status of fall sports and thinks a delayed start and shortened schedule might make sense. Again, Captain Obvious. I don't know if you've seen the commercials with Captain Obvious, but it's Mark Emmert, disguised as Captain Obvious, making a delayed start as well as a shortened schedule might help or might make sense. Of course it would. So this should be very concerning for all the schools, all the players. The NCAA doesn't know what they're doing. They don't have a clear direction. They don't have a plan, and it shows, right, with these types of comments, these types of discussions that are continuing to go on. Something needs to happen. The NCAA needs to pick it up. They shouldn't be waiting till next month to try to figure it out. Now, next month is next week, right? Because we're the last week of July, so August would be next week. But still, like, they shouldn't have to wait. This is something. The college football season is closely coming, like it's inching closer and closer. So to push it out, it doesn't make any sense. And then also the Pac12 schedule. So according to Josh Newman of the Salt Lake Tribune, this was first reported by John Wilner of the Mercury News, San Jose, represent. So the Pac-12 will release a revised football schedule no later than Friday. So this Friday, the Pac-12 will be releasing a schedule. This after the league announced July 10th that all of its fall sports will play a conference-only format. So this is big news because the Pac-12 is basically putting their schedule out first of the major conferences. Now the Big Ten also will be playing, or they announced that they will be playing a conference-only schedule. So we're curious to see what happens with this Pac-12 schedule. When will it start? When will it end? How many how many games will each team play? There's a lot of question marks that this will answer and may provide for, Big Ten, who was already announced that they're going to do a conference-only schedule. And then also the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC, who still haven't announced what the hell they're going to be doing. This will give them an opportunity to look, at least see what Pac-12 is doing, and let the cards fall where they may. The Pac-12 schedule will be the first domino to fall when it comes to scheduling. So please keep an eye on this. We will be going over it on the next week on the Chuck It Up podcast. So we are curious to see what's going on with the Pac-12. I'm glad that they're leading from the front, but man, this is starting to get crazy. Again, I personally don't think that the football season will happen in 2020. There will be no football played in 2020, unfortunately. Again, I'm crossing my fingers hoping that it will. But at the same time, we need to be very cautious, and we need to be very concerned about the players, right? So the players, they're still students, right? They still have to interact with, obviously right now they're likely to do a virtual courses, but we don't know who they come in contact with, right? The student athletes will be, for the most part, be low risk, but the people that they come in contact with might not be. So we need to keep that in mind. Now, unfortunately, COVID-19 has been highly politicized with the left and the right. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying, as far as playing, I would like to see football played, but at the same time, I can see where both sides are at. Play football, player safety. Now, I guess you could have a happy medium for both of them, but I'm curious to see what the Pac-12 does with their schedule, and we will report it next week. So make sure you tune in for that. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you who are on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.